Congratulations! You've made it through the international break. So as the Premier League's winter arc starts to take shape, I'm going to talk about the 10 fixtures from this weekend and highlight 2 games to talk a bit more about them in depth. I'm Ricardo and this is In Added Time. So the first fixture I've pulled out is 4th versus 6th. Crystal Palace at home to Bournemouth. Crystal Palace will be looking to bounce back. Their last fixture, they lost narrowly to Everton in the dying minutes. Jack Grealish's 93rd minute winner saw Crystal Palace suffer their first defeat in 20 fixtures, and they've been an incredible team to watch. Will they bounce back from that? Bournemouth, on the other hand, they've been looking very good. In fact, if Bournemouth can pick up a win on Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, they'll go above Arsenal at the top of the league. That's how well they're doing. Semenyo, along with Haaland, has been the informed player of the Premier League. And no doubt that Semenyo will be picked up by another team in the future, probably a bigger club, Champions League team. Despite losing Kepa, Huijsen and Kerkez, Bournemouth's defence have still looked very good. They've picked up 3 clean sheets in their first 7 fixtures. That's really good. Petrovic and Senesi looking very good for Bournemouth and for FPL managers all around the world. Glasner and Iriola, that's a heavyweight battle. They're the 2 managers that most people have been talking about, touted as to do good things in the future, great things, perhaps even in Champions League clubs. Bayern Munich, Barcelona, Real Madrid, even PSG, we could see these managers end up there. This is going to be a titanic battle. Actually, my fixture of the weekend to watch out for. My prediction, 2-2. The other game I want to highlight is, of course, the big derby. The Premier League game watched by more than anyone else around the world. Liverpool versus Man United, the old rivals. McAllister picked up 2 goals last night for Argentina. Perhaps he's picking up a bit of form now, so that looks good for Liverpool because he hasn't been at his best. He hasn't been fully fit. And this is a big game for both teams for various reasons. Of course, Liverpool trying to pick up their form after 3 defeats in a row, and United, they're just looking for back-to-back victories. I mean, if United can pick up a victory here, that can move them as high as 6th or 7th in the table, which is very good, depending on other results, of course. I think United's attack has great potential. Sesko, Cunha, Mbuemo, Fernandes, even Mason Mount, any pick of that lot, they could definitely have a good opportunity to score goals against Liverpool. Liverpool have had such a weak defence recently. In all their games, even the games they've won, Liverpool have struggled. Van Dijk looking the only mainstay. Yeah, for me, he's the best centre-back in the Premier League, probably one of the best in Europe and in the world. But he's alone. Konate's head has been turned completely right around, and he's already staring at sunny times in Madrid. Mamardashvili might start depending on Alisson's injury, so that's another hiccup over there. He's still trying to figure out how to play, and he hasn't got that same range of passing that Alisson has. And then fullback. Your guess is as good as mine who's going to play fullback. Is it Bradley, Frimpong, Szoboszlai on the right? Is it Kerkez, Robertson on the left? Who knows? In my opinion, should stick with Bradley and Robertson so that they can help support Van Dijk and Konate in a more structured defence. Players that have played to each other for a couple seasons now. The other thing that's important is this Rubik's Cube of a Liverpool attack. Wirtz, Isaac, Gakpo, Salah. Arne Slot is a great manager, in my opinion better than Amorim, but he needs to find a way to get them working together. Playing against Man United is a great opportunity for them to figure this out because United's defence is not that good. And this is definitely a game that Liverpool could pick up a few victories. As I said, I think Slot's a better manager than Amorim. And if Amorim goes for the 2 in midfield versus Liverpool's 3, I think they can be in serious trouble. That means that any given time, Wirtz or Szoboszlai or McAllister or even Gravenberch will have a free run. And that's when the trouble starts. When you've got De Ligt stepping up to try and hold Wirtz, then you'll see Ekitike, Isaac, Salah or Gakpo all running into the box. And that could spell trouble. I think Liverpool, although losing 3 games in a row, I still find them favourites for this victory. And at Anfield, I see Liverpool winning 3-1. As for the other 8 fixtures, the early kickoff on Saturday is Nottingham Forest at home against Chelsea. Now, Ange Postecoglou, he's had 2 weeks during the international break to work on his team, work on his defence, something he's not very interested in doing. Chelsea, they've been looking very good. They're currently 6th in the league, chasing their Champions League spot. I hope they start with Esteval. He's an exciting kid to watch. João Pedro never went away with Brazil, so he'll be fresh. I can see him picking up a couple goals. I see Chelsea winning that game 2-1. The next fixture is Brighton versus Newcastle. That's 11th versus 12th. Newcastle are a lot better than 11th, and I can see them slowly starting to pick up the points and moving up the table. Their defence looks good. I think Brighton's going to struggle to break them down. Minte, on the other hand, is a good player. My prediction for that is Newcastle to win away from home 2-1 at the Amex. The next fixture is Burnley versus Leeds. Now that's two championship clubs that have come up, but both looking semi-decent in their own right and in various reasons. Burnley defensively and Leeds in attack. I think this is going to end a 1-1 stalemate. Who knows? Maybe a goal for Calvert-Lewin and one for my fellow South African, Lyle Foster, to celebrate South Africa qualifying for the World Cup. That would be great. Next up, we've got Man City versus Everton. This is my third game of the weekend. Going to be a very interesting game to watch. Man City looking good, or is it just Erling Haaland in red-hot form? Everton have been playing well under David Moyes. Grealish, of course, can't play because it's his parent club, which means maybe Dwight McNeil might get a run in. And that's good for Everton's chances of picking up a goal from set piece or a corner. Erling Haaland, on the other hand, he scored again on international duty. He didn't score in the second game, but that's because he was rested, which means the Norwegian Terminator is going to be fresh coming into this game. I see Man City winning 2-0, possibly a brace for Haaland. The next game is Sunderland at home to Wolves. Sunderland been playing very, very well. Granit Xhaka is an absolute marshal in that midfield, and it's almost surprising another Premier League club didn't pick him up. And I'd be even more surprised if he doesn't move to another Premier League team after this season. Wolves have been woeful and struggling. I feel sorry for Vitor Pereira, the Portuguese coach. He lost Aït-Nouri and Cunha, and the players he brought in just haven't been up to scratch. Wolves lose that game 2-1 in my opinion. A goal for Isidore and one other. The last game, Saturday evening, is Fulham at home to Arsenal. London derby. That's going to be fun to watch. Fulham are a good team, tricky to break down, but very good on the attack. And for the reason that they like to attack, I think Arsenal can win that game quite comfortably in the end. Possibly a goal for Gyökeres, one for Eze and Saka. I'd say Arsenal to win 3-1. The other Sunday fixture, along with the big derby, is Spurs at home to Aston Villa. Spurs currently sitting third in the Premier League and looking very, very good. Thomas Frank could play any combination of front line, whether it's Xavi Simons, Tal, Odegaard, Richarlison, who knows, Brendan Johnson. Kudos. I think Spurs win that one quite comfortably 3-1. Aston Villa not looking very good. I'll throw in a goal there for Ollie Watkins, only because I like him. And then the final game of game week 8 is West Ham at home to Brentford. Nuno Espirito Santo, same as age, has had 2 weeks to work with his team during this international break, which means they're going to be a whole lot better. Yeah, West Ham are currently in 19th, but they're a lot better team than that. I see Bowen picking up a brace, West Ham to win 2-1. And that's my final prediction. Let me know what you think of my predictions. Please comment if you think I'm completely crazy or if you agree with me. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. That's me. Cheers. Stay safe.